This will not be what the 9/11 memory hole. The following program was produced by the United States.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
Apparently my mic was muted, my bad. But when I was a child, I was always taught that we are the best country in the world. We were a melting pot. Melting pot of ideas, melting pot of people. We were the best country in the world because we had freedoms that nobody else had. Our technological advances across the world. Our ability to build rapidly. Our ability to motivate, to inspire, to have the best ideas around the world no matter what. I believed it. Just like I'm sure every single one of you do. However, here recently, those ideas and those principles that we've had have started to come under attack. And, well, those laws that we've designed this country to be around, I'm not so sure they exist. On paper, they do. In ideology, I don't know about that now. You know, we have this thing called the Constitution of the United States of America. You know, it was a set of laws govern that every single American, legal American, those here legally through other means like visas and things like that. All those rights were given to us. They're afforded to us. We have that right. Do we really have that right, though? No, serious question. Do we really have that right, though? Because every single one of them have been under attack. Now, the Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments in the U.S. Constitution and arguably the most important. They were the first ones to be ratified. They were the first ones that no matter what state, no matter what person, those rights were afforded to us and nobody could take that from us. Now, this president has he's attacked every single one of them. Let's be honest. It's not just this president. Multiple presidents throughout history, modern history, not too long ago, all the way back to let's just say Bill Clinton, even before then, these rights have been under attack. Now, whether you agree with what they say, whether you don't, it doesn't matter. Whether you like them has no bearing on what they say. And I'll be damned if you let them take them. If I let them take them from any of us. So we're going to go through this and I'm going to show you guys how every single one of these have been under attack. Now, these are just a few examples. Just a few. If I were to show you everything that I've kind of gone through and looked at, I'd be here for days. But these are just ones in modern time. And by modern time, I mean in the last few years. And they're concerning. But I want you all to know. I want you all to see it. And I want you all to understand. These are rights not afforded by government. These are rights afforded by God. Whether you believe or whether you don't, these are rights that cannot be taken away and shall not be taken away. These are the rights that every single human American should be willing to die for. Just to uphold. Just to keep in our control. Damn the propaganda. Damn the lies from the government. These are the ones we need to hold. Let's just go through the first 10 here in this show. And then we'll go to Rumble. And I'll give my real unfettered thoughts. If anybody else joins us, they're welcome to do so as well. Those people have those links to come in, and I will be watching just to see. But let's go ahead and bring this up real quick here. U.S. Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments within the Constitution. The first ones that were ratified, no matter what, shall not be taken away. The first one, Amendment 1. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free speech thereof, abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Now, this one's all up in the air. People want to argue about this, and people want to say, oh, well, it's just for the government to not censor you, to not shut you up. The government can't do that. Shut your mouth. It says Congress shall make no law. Congress shall make no law, which means they can't make laws to stop you from speaking. Nobody can stop you from speaking. Nobody can stop you from peaceably assembling. And they can't make laws about that. Stop with the government. It only covers the government. Bullshit. Now, I am angry. And every single one of you shall be. I am tired of having to fight people about this. You traitors to America who don't even understand your basic rights. Oh, it's a private company. They can do whatever they want. Well, a private company does whatever it wants now, and you still bitch about it. Let's play by your rules. Twitter is now a real private company, so it can do whatever it wants. But because it's somebody you don't like that's now at the head, that you praised, that you heralded, now for some reason it's a problem, right? Yeah, some reason it's a problem to you that Elon Musk is releasing information to show how the government used a private entity to silence your voice. So you don't understand, so you don't hear. So you just listen to whatever they want you to listen to. So you believe whatever they want you to believe. And damn the facts and statistics and anything else, if it's not what they want you to believe, you were silenced. Fuck, even what's his name? Mark Zuckerberg went on Joe Rogan saying, "Hey, the FBI came to us about this Hunter Biden laptop story and we shut it down. You could still share it, but it would go nowhere, barely anywhere. Twitter banned anybody that even tried. They even made sure you couldn't share it in DMs. YouTube writes arbitrary laws, vague rules for you to abide by so they can just take you down whenever they want to. I've had it happen to me myself. Yeah. Showing you where you could find the Pfizer data dump was apparently against their rules for COVID misinformation, even though it was Pfizer's own information. Covered protests that have happened around the world, 230 plus protests that have happened around the world. Didn't say anything, didn't call for any kind of action. And it was taken down for violent extremism because they don't want you to know about these things. No, they want you to stay comfortably fed with the bullshit propaganda that they sell you. So going on to Amendment 1. Oh, we all know about this. We've heard about this. Okay. Twitter files. I'm not going to go into the first 6, 7, 8 of them, 7 of them, because it's just kind of like written like an article. Number 8. By 2020, request for connected actors to delete tweets were routine. Let's not be mistaken here. In any way, let's not be mistaken here. By 2020, it was routine, which means it's been happening sooner than that. You can believe it if you want to. You cannot believe it if you want to. The choice is up for you and you alone to make. However, I can tell you, it happened. Not only on Twitter, on Facebook too. Hell, I used to do gaming streams on Facebook. And within 10 months' time, I had over 10,000 followers. Shared memes, played games, talked to people on there. Then I started getting censored. One of them, I swear, no bullshit. One of them was during the PlayStation 5 launch. You know how it was incredibly hard to get the first batches of PlayStation that were coming out. In a gaming group I was in, somebody had mentioned that the PlayStation was being sold on their own website. It was a first come, first served basis. You just stayed in queue. It wouldn't be a problem. You can even refresh your page. You wouldn't lose your place. So I stayed in there all day. Yeah. Refreshing on my phone, refreshing on my laptop when I had the laptop with me. And then all of a sudden, looking back at it now, I can understand. But all of a sudden, at about 5:20 my time, I refreshed and a little message popped up on screen saying, "We're currently out of stock. Try again another time." Now, the timestamp on that was about 3:20 on their time. So I took a screenshot. Anybody said, or one of the guys in the group said, "Hey, did anybody have any luck with it?" Posted that screenshot, and I said I was waiting in the queue for 2 hours before this message popped up. Is this how they really do things here? Now, looking at the time frame, them being on the West Coast, me being in the southern states, Central Time, Pacific Time, 2-hour difference. Yeah, it makes sense. But as soon as I posted that, with no identifying information, no account information or anything, within less than a minute of me posting that, I was banned for 30 days on uh, Facebook. I swear to God, for violent extremism. Do I still have the screenshot somewhere around here? It's on one of my thumb drives. Or I'm sorry, it wasn't violent extremism. I was banned on Facebook for that, for it being drug related. I swear to God. Drug related somehow, talking about the PlayStation 5. Somehow drug related. Took that 30-day ban on the chin. Thought it was funny. Appealed it. Less than 30 seconds later, nope, ban stands. Yeah, it happens. Now, after that ban, one of the people that I had gotten to know very closely, actually a trans person, had taken a picture, made the picture herself into a meme, sent it to me. I enjoyed the hell out of it, and I even asked for permission to share it. And she told me yes. Now, this picture is of a trans woman in a skin tight silver dress with the words good morning. Now, the O's in good were her breasts, and the I in morning was the outline of the member that men have. Within 2 hours, I was banned again because I'm making fun of trans people. Yeah, okay. I appealed it, sent them screenshots of the person who made the meme saying it was okay to send out. Nope, can't do it. Ban stands. Now, that meme was shared from my page over 1,200 times, even from the person who made the meme. I checked all 1,200. It still stood on their pages. They only targeted me. And that's because I got vocal during my game streams about politics, about cultural things, about problems that I was seeing pop up within this country. Second 30-day ban. Of course, that passed over. And as soon as I could, I got on there and I said, look, censorship is a real problem here. It's really causing an issue. I never even believed it till it hit me. It's how everybody goes, right? You don't believe something till it affects you. So it affected me. Between Twitch and Facebook, I was making enough money to pay for the mortgage on this house every month. It affected me. So I sent out a message on Facebook telling everybody to if they wanted to speak out, please let me know. I'll record the conversations, edit them so it follows within guidelines, and I'll release them. You don't even have to show your face. Just want to hear what you have to think about it. I've recorded over 40 conversations, edited them all down, uploaded them one after another, and I was going to start releasing one every hour until they were all done. By the third release, there's absolutely nothing in them that was against Facebook's terms of service. By the third release, I was permanently banned. Now, that was Facebook. Even with Elon Musk at the head of Twitter right now, I'm still permanently suspended. Because apparently calling somebody a retard is now fine. But hypothetical situations like somebody sent something that said, if a house was on fire, who would you save? An adult person or children and embryos? I said, hell, what I would do is I'd use that adult person as a shield against the fire to save the children and embryos. Apparently, that's violent extremism in a hypothetical situation where none of it exists. Of course, the algorithm doesn't know that. So I was hit with that. This one that I've been banned under was a conversation about obese people. And I pretty much said, hey, look, let them be who they want to be. If they want to die from diabetes and heart disease because they can't put the fork down, let them. Who are you to tell them how to live? That's why I'm permanently banned right now. Apparently, that's harassment and bullying because I advocated for them to be who they want, to let them do what they want, because that's really our laws here in the United States. So you sit there and tell me that a private company can do whatever they want, right? Yeah, that was one of the arguments, remember? Section 230, talking about reforming Section 230 that protects these companies from being sued as long as they didn't editorialize. And by editorialize, it means removing things that people don't want to see or don't want to read or don't want to hear. Yeah, if you don't editorialize, I can't sue YouTube or Twitter or Facebook for anything. Even if you said something disparaging against me. Can't sue the platforms, I got to sue you. However, Mark Zuckerberg admitted it. These Twitter files that Matt Taibbi has been releasing on Twitter at the behest of Elon Musk, they prove it too. The government is silencing any dissent. The government is silencing people. The government is violating your First Amendment rights. Now, this was done in a sneaky way. We all knew it, but we couldn't prove it till now. By the way, sneaky actions to undermine the government, to undermine our way of life here in the United States, to undermine our Constitution is called a coup d'etat. Look it up. Overt actions are called treason. Now, this coup d'etat of silencing people was just the start. Everything else they've done is overt, and it is treasonous. Let's not mix words of feelings here. But show a little proof about that. Let's go back to it here. Okay, by 2020, requests from connected actors to delete tweets were routine. One executive would write to another, more to review from the Biden team. The reply would come back handled. Now, it is true that both Republicans and Democrats use this to remove your voice. Doesn't matter if you like Orange Man. I hate that fat fuck too. He's an asshole. He's always going to be an asshole. That's all who he's ever been. I hated him when I was a kid. I can recognize he did damn good for this country. Our economy was strong. Nobody fucked around because he was a loose cannon. You could say through fear, but he was respected. Russia played ball. Iran played ball. Fucking North Korea played ball. That son of a bitch walked across the border of North Korea and South Korea, a demilitarized zone, with no guard, and still survived to tell the story. So yeah, I'll give credit where credit is due. But yes, Republicans and Democrats both use this to silence your voice. I'm not here to play sides. I'm here to call it all out. But you can see from this, more to review from the Biden team. Now, this was before the election. This is Joe Biden's campaign staff going onto Twitter, having shit removed from the Hunter Biden laptop story. Now, the narrative right now through all of this is, oh, it's a nothing burger. It was dick pics. No, it wasn't. This had nothing to do with Hunter Biden's dick. This had everything to do with Burisma. This had everything to do with the quid pro quo that Biden had while he was vice president, going over to Ukraine and telling the president of Ukraine that if you don't fire the prosecutor that is investigating Burisma, that his son was sitting on the board of directors of, you ain't getting the $1 billion foreign aid. So fire the man who's looking into my son to get $1 billion from the United States of America. Quid pro quo. Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Actually, blackmail too. Yeah. 10% from the big guy. You remember that information? Even Tony Bobolinsky said that was Joe Biden. Big guy was Joe Biden. And he was involved in that himself too. So yeah, this Biden administration, the Hunter Biden laptop story, which the FBI had in their possession since 2018, because the laptop repair shop owner fixed his laptop, had it waiting for him. Hunter Biden never picked it up because he's a fucking crackhead. Never picked it up. 30 days later, by company policy. Remember, a company can do whatever it wants, right? It's a private company. It can do whatever it wants. So the owner started looking at the laptop and what was in it. Made copies of the hard drive, gave it to the FBI in 2018. FBI said, we don't give a shit about this. Let's just memory hole that and sweep it under the rug. Well, it came out in 2020. That was supposed to be the October bombshell right before the election. Seems they knew it was coming too. Because as soon as it dropped, everything disappeared. You couldn't find anything online about it. And if you did, it was only far-right propaganda. Yeah, it couldn't be corroborated. Even the store owner was outspoken saying, yeah, this is real. This is real. I've got it. I sent it all away. This is real. And they silenced him because they didn't want it getting out there. It's not about the dick pics. It's not about the child, the CP from Hunter Biden, who is having a adult relations with children and recording it. It wasn't about any of that. To them, it was about Russian propaganda. All that was just lies. All of it was just lies. You remember? Yeah, Russian propaganda. Then it comes out after the election that it was actually true. Like a lot of things people were saying were actually true. Yeah. But yeah, there's little 5 things right there that Hunter Biden's administration had removed about his son's laptop. Damning information that even the voters said, 14% said they would not have voted, changed their vote, had they have known about it. 22% said they would more than likely have changed their vote. 32% of Biden voters said any of that information would have never changed their mind about voting for Joe Biden. Just that 14% said definitely would have changed the outcome of our election. It's election interference. Now, for fucking 5, 6 years, you were dragging that man, talking about Trump, you were dragging that man through hell as soon as he came down the elevators. I remember that bitch on MSNBC. What's her name? Manly haircut looking Rachel Maddow. That's it. I remember her saying, things like, okay, so we're gonna have a celebrity as president now. Hell, we already have John F. Kennedy. Are you kidding me? But the day he was president elect, she went there as soon as it was announced. She went on TV saying, well, this begins the impeachment of President Donald J. Trump. So it was planned from the very beginning. I urge you to go back and look through that. It's cool, Butternut. I ain't worried about it, brother. People may jump on if they want to. Everybody's got the link if they want to join. However, let's continue. Celebrities and unknowns alike could be removed or reviewed at the behest of a political party. Now, when he says of a political party, remember, this is Democrats and Republicans. We will address that. I grabbed the first one under SI, deferred to safety on high profile second one. Now, we're talking about real James Woods. He was a celebrity. This one was removed. A celebrity was shut down. Okay? A celebrity was shut down because he didn't share a dick pic. He shared the information about 10% for the big guy. He shared Bob Alinsky saying, yeah, I was involved with this, and the big guy is Joe Biden. Both parties had access to these tools. For instance, in 2020, requests from both the Trump White House and the Biden campaign were received and honored. However, the system wasn't balanced. It was based on contacts because Twitter was and is overwhelmingly staffed by people of one political orientation. There were more channels, more ways to complain open to the left, well, Democrats, than the right. Yeah, that's the way everything is. Our schools, mainstream media, our TV, our movies, Hollywood, Disney. They're all left-wing activists because they're told to. Because if they're not, well, they're shut down. Look at Jordan Peterson. Shit. Now that's Canada. But the man was literally attacked and dragged through the mud because he didn't follow suit with them. Tim Allen. The Lightyear movie. Tim Allen was always Buzz Lightyear's voice. Because he leans to the right, he no longer works in Hollywood. Gina Carano. She was canceled because she shared an image of the gulags during World War II. And underneath it was an image of the United States, and it said, the kids in cages story. By the way, who built the cages, Joe? Think that was your buddy and pal, Obama? Yeah. But anyway. Yeah, underneath it was kids in cages, and the little caption on it was, don't let America turn out to be like this or something. She was canceled. She was removed. I mean, at that time, she was a big star in the show The Mandalorian. Now, I'll admit, she was damn good. The Mandalorian was a good show, and she did really well on it. But yeah, she was removed from everything. She was canceled, thrown to the wayside because she tried to say that this political party was the bad guys from WW2. That's not what she was saying at all. She was just saying, let's not make this happen. Yeah. So if you look at this right here, contributions by party of recipient. Now, this is really damning. In 2018, 96.38% of all contributions that the people within the company and the company themselves made to a political candidate was the Democrat candidates. 3.62% to Republicans. In 2022, 99.73% to Democrats, 0.27 to Republicans. Only $451. Yeah. You can't sit there and tell me that any of that is fair and balanced in any way. But we all know the cesspool Twitter was and still kind of is. But at least something is being done about it. I will give it that. Says the resulting slant in content moderation decisions is visible in the documents you're about to read. However, it is also the assessment of multiple and current former high-level execs. Okay, more throat clearing, blah, blah, blah. Twitter Files Part 1, hearing why they blocked the Hunter Biden laptop story. On October 14, 2020, the New York Post published the Biden secret emails, an expose on the based on the contents of the Hunter Biden's abandoned laptop. Twitter took extraordinary steps to suppress the story, removing links and posting warnings that it may be unsafe. They even blocked its transmission via direct message. Yeah, direct messages. They should be private, right? You're not trying to make that public. You're just talking to somebody in private. Nope, can't do that because we have access to it. Yeah. Blocked it from there as well. Okay. A tool hitherto received for extreme cases, CP. White House spokesperson Kayleigh McEnany, who went on or who was Trump's press secretary. She was badass at her job. She was always ready. She was always up, and she always gave you an answer. It wasn't like Jen Psaki will circle back. It wasn't like Karine Jean-Pierre who's saying, I will not comment on this. I'm not going to comment. No, shut your mouth. I'm not going to comment on it. She was badass. Whether you like the answer or not, she still gave you an answer. From Mike Hahn, one of Trump's little campaign staffers, said Kayleigh McEnany has been locked out of her account for simply talking about the New York Post story. All she did was cite the story in firsthand reporting that has been reported by other outlets and not disputed by the Biden campaign. I need an answer immediately on when, how she will be unlocked. I also don't appreciate how nobody on this team called me regarding the news that you'll be censoring news articles. Like I said, at least to pretend to care for the next 20 days. That is a good point to bring up. I mean, if you're going to censor things like that, if you're going to remove people from talking about things like that, shouldn't you give them a heads up first? Right? I mean, if this really is Russian disinformation, shouldn't everybody that's been involved with the campaign or anything political, shouldn't they know about it before you just start cutting them off so they don't have their voices removed from the biggest platform, not only political, but cultural news as well? You'd think, right? Nah, we know what. Let's be nice. We know what a cesspool Twitter was. Like I said, and still kind of is. This led public policy executive Caroline Strom to send out a polite "what the fuck" query. Several employees noted that there was tension between the comms policy teams who had little less control over moderation and the safety trust teams. Hi, team. Are you able to take a closer look here? Thank you. Strom's notes return the answer to the laptop story has been removed for violation of the company's hacked materials policy. Now, this is per checking, the user was bounced by site integrity for violating our hacked materials policy, adding them here for further insights and guidance. Thanks, Elaine Ongsato. I don't even give a fuck to pronounce your name right. Piece of shit, get out of my face. All right. Hacked materials. So, how is it hacked materials if the crackhead's son left his laptop at a computer repair shop, didn't pick it up, didn't pay his fucking bills, and the owner turned it in 2018, making copies as he is legally allowed to do because, hey, private companies can do whatever they want to, correct? Well, yeah, he made those copies and he turned it in later in 2020, well, early 2021, to people that made a fuck that weren't going to hide it. So, yeah, how is that hacked materials? It's not. However, you remember when Trump's tax returns were leaked? Oh, that was all over Twitter. Everybody was talking about that shit. Everybody knew about it. That was hacked materials, and that was allowed to thrive and pushed on Twitter. But because it was Orange Man, it was damning evidence towards Orange Man that turned out to be the nothing burger that they're trying to make this story out to be. Yeah, because it was Orange Man and they hated him so badly, it was allowed to persist. If you can't tell by the tone of my voice, I am really pissed today, and I'm trying to play nice. Although several sources recalled hearing about a general warning from federal law enforcement that summer about possible foreign hacks, there is no evidence that I've seen of any government involvement in the laptop story. In fact, that might have been the problem. No evidence. No evidence that you've seen of any government involvement in the laptop story. The FBI had it since 2018. The owner of the repair shop was concerned about the CP on the laptop, was concerned about the emails that he saw on this laptop, and he handed over to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, which, by the way, one of the people that were involved in this story that wound up working for Twitter, who vetted the information given to Matt Taibbi for this, was now found out and fired by Elon Musk. One of the same people involved in that were the same person that was involved with the Russiagate hoax, the Russia collusion, flaming Trump for years on end, how he's a Russian asset and the Russians were involved in our 2020 election. That turned out to be completely fucking false. What, by the way, the same team that investigated that was the same team that ran up in Mar-a-Lago. That's a big nothing burger, though, right? Yeah. Just like this story, it's a big nothing burger. Everybody's making a big deal out of nothing. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Although several sources recalled here we just read that one. The decision was made at the highest levels of the company, but without the knowledge of CEO Jack Dorsey, with former head of legal policy and trust, Vagina Gotti. I don't give a fuck about your name, bitch. You can kiss my white fucking skin flaps I call my ass. You worthless traitor. Fucking flag it. I don't give a shit. This, what she was doing, it's a coup d'etat. Yeah, it is. You want to know how I know? There it is. French for stroke of state, also known as a coup or overthrow, is a seizure or removal of government and its hold on. Please don't skip this 1 minute read. Blah 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 blah. Fuck you. I'm not giving you money, you piece of shit. Uh, as known as a coup or overthrow, is a seizure and removal of a government and its power. Typically, it is illegal search, or it is illegal seizure of power by a political faction, politician, cult, rebel group, military, or a dictator. Many scholars consider a coup successful when the usurper seize and hold power for at least 7 days. Hmm. So you tell me that you sneakily remove information that would have changed the course of the election, thus the course of government, taking power for your political party to do whatever you want to. Ha. How many times has Biden said things like during the eviction moratorium? This is probably illegal, but I'm going to do it anyway. Sue me. Hmm. At the stroke of a pen, I can do whatever I want. Hey, didn't Obama do that? I mean, one of his most famous things was I got a phone and a pen. Hold on. We're starting to connect dots here. Seizure and removal of a government and its powers. Advocate for it or whether you want to rail against it, you cannot deny that the Democratic Party of today is not the Democratic Party that it used to be. Not the somewhat fair and balanced party. This is the party that projects. This is the party of fascism. Now, we're not going to use Wikipedia, a far right authoritarian. Okay. Britannica. Fascism, political ideology, and mass movement that dominated many parts of Central, Southern, and European and Eastern Europe, 1919 to 1945. Okay. Let's see. Movement. Why are you there? Get out of here. Okay. Let's see. Took the name of his party in Latin, which referred to the bundle. Where is it? Here we go. Including extreme militaristic nationalism, contempt for electoral democracy, and political and cultural liberalism. From Britannica, not Wikipedia that says far right, because Wikipedia is a far left little source of information that they get to change whenever they want to. They get to change the info of to whatever they want. I mean, if you don't believe that, hell, Steven Crowder did a little expose about that. Him and Dave Landau. All you have to do is just look that up. Watch that video. Yeah. So Wikipedia says it's a far right authoritarian movement, but by definition from Britannica itself, it's a cultural liberalism. Now, what does fascism mean, really? A way of organizing a society in which a government ruled by a dictator control. Right. A way of organizing a society in which a government ruled by dictator controls the lives of the people, in which the people are not allowed to disagree with the government. Guess what? What do you think's been happening? Anybody that spoke out against this trans movement, silence, removed. Now, you haven't been killed, but you were killed for just being a Trump supporter. Remember that guy that took 2 to the chest? Yeah, we got another one. Pow, pow. You remember that? David Dorn during the riots in the Summer of Love is what they call it. The peaceful protests that caused over $2 billion in damages before they stopped counting. Yeah. People died. People were silenced. People were murdered just because they didn't agree with what the government told them. Hmm. Sounds like fascism to me, right? Let's continue. By the way, I will give it this. And we all thought there was a lot of, we all knew there was a lot going on within Twitter about this, especially if you paid attention in any way towards the Hunter Biden laptop store. We all knew something was going on within these companies. Okay. We all hated Jack Dorsey because we thought he was behind it. We thought this was his call. Turns out through these emails and everything that was released, dude didn't know about it until it had already happened. Didn't know a damn thing about it until it was already underway. He didn't know. He was just a fall guy. Now you can sit there and argue, well, he knew about it afterwards. Why didn't he come up and say something? Fair point. However, high-level executives in Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, they're under a non-disclosure agreement from the government not to say shit. Now, this is recorded. You can look it up. This is documented, well documented. They're under a non-disclosure agreement not to say shit. Through threat of imprisonment or worse. I mean, they said Trump was a treasonous bastard. So what happens if you break a non-disclosure agreement against the federal government itself? Don't you think they would call you treasonous and do bad things to you? And by bad things, I mean do not leave you alive. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I can understand Jack Dorsey's concern. Put in the same situation, I can't say that I would do anything different. Now, when I was single, fuck yeah. Who cares? You're going to kill me. Everybody's going to know why you killed me. Now that I have a family, as he does, people I need to protect, people I need to support, nurture, help grow. I don't think I would have done anything different myself. So yeah, I can't really blame Jack Dorsey for not saying anything. It was that vagina bitch that started all this. He was just a fall guy. So all apologies to Jack Dorsey. You've been more vocal about it without trying to break your NDA still. But fuck. All right. They just freelanced it, is how one former employee characterized the decision. Hacking was the excuse, but within a few hours, pretty much everyone realized that that wasn't going to hold, but no one had the guts to reserve it. You can see the confusion in the following lengthy exchange, which ends up including Gade and former trust and safety chief Yoel Roth, which everybody, as soon as Elon Musk took ownership of Twitter, everybody was coming out against this guy. Now, I never knew who he was, never really even cared until I started really looking into what they were saying, what they were posting about him, the things that they had brought up from the past about this dude. Yeah, this swastika loving fucktard. Yeah, he is treasonous. He is traitorous. He literally, willingly openly and lovingly violated your First Amendment right to change the outcome of an election just because he was told, Orange man bad, he's racist. Says right here, Trenton Kennedy, I'm struggling to understand the policy basis for marking this as unsafe. And I think the best explainability argument for this externally would be that we're waiting to understand if this story is the result of hacked materials. We'll face hard questions on this if we don't have some kind of solid reasoning for marking the link unsafe. In other words, he's saying, I don't believe this is hacked materials, and there's going to be a lot of backlash if we keep this up. Can somebody try to come up with a reason why we're doing this? More believable, more plausible reason why this is going on? That's what he's talking about. From Trenton, again, no, from Trenton responding to Katie, will we also mark similar stories as unsafe? And it's a link from Fox News. Hunter Biden emails Senate Homeland Security Committee investigating hard drive laptop. Oh, well, we all know the whole thing with stop listening to Fox News. Fox News is far right propaganda, even though it's the only mainstream media right wing voice on television. Yeah, but it's propaganda. So without that, you'd never be able to hear the other side. Because let's just be honest, people don't look past the headlines. So the headlines is what you all believe. Yeah. Okay. By this point, everyone knew this was fucked, said one former employee. But the response was essentially to err on the side of continuing to err. So, in other words, we know it's a fucked up situation, but we're going to continue to do this fucked up situation because we're already in too deep. Yo, Roth, the policy basis is hacked materials, though, as discussed, this is an emerging situation where the facts remain unclear. Given the severe risk here and lessons of 2016, we're erring on the side of including a warning and preventing this content from being amplified. Full fucking stop. The FBI knew, the FBI had this content since 2018, and the lessons learned in 2016. What, you mean the Russiagate hoax that was proven to be 100% verifiably false before the election was even known, or before the election was even over? But that's the lesson you learned, right? That's the lesson you learned. For 3 fucking years, we went through the Steele dossier, the Russian collusion, every single fucking person that wasn't right-leaning in any way saying, he's a Russian asset, he's a plant, he's controlled by Vladimir Putin. And they lied to you under the behest of Hillary Clinton, who went to the FBI saying, make up some shit because he's an illegitimate president. Election denial, which you can't do, right? No, 2020 was the most safe and secure election ever. Anybody that speaks up against that in any way is a conspiracy theorist. They're a traitor. They're an election denier. So Hillary Clinton saying stuff about 2022 and already saying if the Democrats don't win in 2024, it's an illegitimate election. Her saying that. Now that's okay. That's okay because it's their side doing it. Okay. Vagina bitch, what is the warning that will come up? Now, this trader, Yo Roth, knew when you click on the link, you'll see the generic unsafe URL message, references spam, malware, and violations of the Twitter rules. Not ideal, but it's the only thing we have, which stops 99, 98, 99% of you from looking. Okay, probably a little bit less, but a vast majority of you from looking, because if you clicked on that, oh, I'm going to get some spyware. Oh, I'm going to be scammed out of something. even though you can look at the link and tell it comes from an actual safe source. Oh, no, because people don't do that. I'm just going to be nice here. From Ian Plunkett. New. Whatever we do in the comms, this will become a biased claim for Jack pre-hearing immediately. Let's make it clear we're proactively but cautiously interpreting this through the lens of our hacked materials policy and allowing the link within the warning with a warning and significant reduction of spread. Okay, you already knew this was false, and yet you went ahead and did it anyway because it means a hell of a lot less people would have voted for Joe Biden. Former VP of Global Comms Brandon Brahms asked, can we truthfully claim this is part of the policy? And there it is. To Ian's point, can we truthfully claim this is part of the policy as our approach to addressing potentially hacked materials? We are limiting visibility of related stories on Twitter while our investigation is ongoing. To which a former Deputy General Counsel Jim Baker, the FBI dude who was involved in a lot of shady shit, trying to get Trump impeached, former Deputy General Counsel Jim Baker again seems to advise staying the non-course because caution is warranted. From this little traitorous son of a bitch, I support the conclusion that we need more facts to assess whether the material were hacked. At this stage, however, it is reasonable for us to assume that they may have been and that caution is warranted. There are some facts that indicate that the materials may have been hacked, while there are others indicating that the computer was either abandoned and or the owner consented to allow the repair shop to access it for at least some purposes. We simply need more information. Full fucking stop. This was the same dude that this person in Twitter making these claims right here was the same dude in the FBI who knew about the laptop in 2018. And now he's in Twitter saying this shit back then. You knew full fucking well this wasn't hacked materials. You knew full fucking well the computer repair shop owner gave it to the FBI. You knew this full fucking well, and you still decided to say this fucking lie. You sat there and censored a bunch of people for this laptop. You buried not only a lot of information that would have changed the course of the election, but federal fucking crimes coming from the president and the president's son. Back then, he was running for president, so presidential candidate, and the candidate's son. You covered up crimes, major crimes, all because Orange Man bad. Yeah. And you wonder why we say defund the FBI? Okay. Fundamental problem with the tech companies and content moderation. Many people in charge of speech care too little about speech and have been told the basics by outsiders. To wit, whatever that's, I don't think he followed through with the rest of that, but I don't know what happened with that one. In a humorous exchange on day one, Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna reaches out to Gade to gently suggest she hop on the phone to talk about the backlash re-speech. Khanna was the only Democrat official I could find in the files who expressed concern. There it is, generating huge backlash on Hill re-speech. Happy to chat if you're up for it. Best Ro. Didn't mean to click that. Gotti replies quickly, immediately diving into the weeds of the Twitter policy, unaware Khanna is more worried about the Bill of Rights. First Amendment of the United States of America. Thank you for reaching out, and we appreciate the heads up. We put out a clarifying thread on tweets earlier in the evening to explain our policy around around the posting of private information and linking directly to hacked materials. The press secretary's account was not permanently suspended. We just request that she delete the tweet containing material that is in violation of our rules, and her account is restricted until she complies. I'd be happy to jump on the phone if helpful. My team in DC, Jessica and Lauren, are copied here and is also available to discuss. Okay. So this vagina traitorous bitch knew the whole damn story from beginning to end. She knew this was actually going down, and she lied to a sitting congressman. Oh, well, that's not a problem because fucking Fauci lied. Yeah, Fauci lied. I mean, everybody goes in there. I don't remember. I don't know. I can't recall. I mean, the new what is it? Supreme Court justice can't even tell you what a woman is. And she brought up race in a religious talk or a religious case. Mhm. Yeah, like she's an activist sitting on the Supreme Court bench right now. Somehow, because the color of skin, we can't talk about religion, or the color of skin has to be brought up in religion talk now because of her. Whatever. There is not a single fucking thing in any one of our government agencies that has not been invaded and overrun by this woke ideology bullshit. Because it was fine when the Roe versus Wade was overturned. It was fine that people were trying to hunt down and kill Supreme Court justices like Amy Coney Barrett or Brett Kavanaugh or Justice Alito or Justice Clarence Thomas. That was fine. It was okay because fuck them, right? But yet, Paul Pelosi has a staged hammer fight in his underwear with some weird left wing nut fucking job. And all of a sudden, far right extremists, oh, this. And now, oh, we need to protect people. I mean, you weren't up for protecting the Supreme Court at that time. You weren't up for that. You couldn't afford that. But yet, just like the wall, we couldn't find $4 or $5 billion for a wall at the southern border, but yet we've sent damn near $100 billion over to Ukraine that you're paying for, that I'm paying for, even though we have absolutely no fucking say in that because it's a proxy war by Joe Biden, which, by the way, only 30% of that money hit the front lines. Where'd the rest go? Well, their parliament gave themselves a 70% raise, and I guarantee if you look up the FTX scandal, how Sam Bankman-Fried was funneling money from Ukraine into the cryptocurrency and then funneling that money back to Democratic politicians. There's where your money went, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Kind of tries to reroute the conversation to the First Amendment mention in which are generally hard to find in the files. Rokana de Vajayagare, blah, 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 blah. Where is it? Where does it start? Hope you're well, vagina. But this seems a violation of the First Amendment principles. It is. 100% is. Even by you left-wing nutjobs that say it only protects the government from censoring your speech. You damn retarded assholes who think that the First Amendment only protects the government from shutting you up, which is verifiably 100% false. And that narrative only came up here recently. You know how I know? You stupid assholes. I used to be on your side. I used to make those arguments with the banning of books from right-wing people. Yeah. I used to make that argument too. The First Amendment means nobody can shut you the fuck up. That's the truth of it. Be nice. Be nice. Okay. Let's see. If there is hack, if there is a hack of classified information or other information that could expose a serious war crime, and the New York Times was to publish it, I think the New York Times should have that right. A journalist should not be held accountable for the illegal actions of the source unless they actively aided the hack. So, to restrict the distribution of that material, especially regarding a presidential candidate, seems not in keeping of the principles of the New York Times versus Sullivan case. I say this as a total Biden partisan and convinced he didn't do anything wrong. Well, you're a fucking complete retarded asshole, Ro Khanna, because he's on video blackmailing and quid pro quo with Ukraine. But he did nothing wrong. There's evidence within that laptop that says you're a lying son of a bitch. I'll do credit. At least you were the only one to say, hey, maybe this is a bad idea. But you're a lying piece of shit. Okay. So we restrict the where is it? But the story now has become more about censorship than relatively innocuous emails, and it's become a bigger deal than it would have been. You are right. Most people wouldn't have given a damn about the information on that laptop had you not tried to shut it the fuck down. Nobody would have cared. It would have been like, yeah, we already know. It's whatever thing. That would have been the nothing burger. But you shut it down. You shut people up. You literally remove them from speaking and giving information to the general public. So, yeah, you turned it into a bigger issue. Congratulations. You fucked yourself. It is also now leading to serious efforts to curtail Section 220, many which have been a mistake. I believe Twitter itself should curtail what it recommends or puts in trending news, and your policy against QAnon groups is all good. It's a hard balance. Oh, but Blue Anon is fine, right? Yeah. Yeah, now they're trying to say Republicans are banning books again because of the straight up pornography that is being distributed in schools. You don't believe me? Look that shit up. This ideology, the gender ideology, showing pornographic images to children. Kindergarten, first grade, second grade. And it's straight in their fucking library. But yeah, we're banning books. Y'all need to shut the fuck up. You really do. I believe, yeah. But in the heat of the presidential campaign, restricting dissemination of newspaper articles, even if New York Post is far right, which they're not, they're just a right leaning news site that everybody likes to fucking hate, seems it will invite more backlash than it will do good. Yeah, it did, didn't it? Please get this communication between us and Jack, and no need to CC the team or forward to them. You know why? Because it proves that the government was involved in the shits. Give me a second. I gotta hit the bathroom. I will be right back. Let me grab another drink real quick. Okay. So that goes on a little bit more. There was more that came out a little bit. I think it was yesterday about all this as well. Speaking about the Jim Baker dude who turned out to be a Fed from the FBI who was involved in a lot of shady shit. You can go ahead and look more into that. I just wanted you guys to give you guys a rundown of this information, and because you're going to hear a lot of, oh, it's a nothing burger. No, no, it's not a nothing burger. Would it change the course of the election? It actually shows a lot of crime that our president and his crackhead ass son committed. Proof, evidence of it. They committed it. Okay. Now, this is just an example of how they have violated your free speech. The government has violated your free speech. Not just people that own these companies, people that work at these companies, high level executives that the First Amendment still protects you from, but the government. Not to mention the fact, y'all remember during the lockdowns how BLM and Antifa were allowed to riot, and somehow COVID stayed away from them. But any real peaceful right wing gathering was somehow a super spreader event. The right to peaceably assemble. Yeah. And now every other news organization is coming down on Matt Taibbi for actually showing this information, saying he's a traitor and this and this and this. Oh, wait. What? What was it about the press? Congress shall make no laws prohibiting free speech, exercise thereof, abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or of the right to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Wait, didn't the Supreme Court shut down any information about the questions that we had in 2020 about the election? Seems like every bit of the First Amendment has been shut to hell. Yeah. First Amendment broken, violated by the government and everybody involved in with the government. Second Amendment. We all know this one. A well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, everybody likes to comment, but the commas change everything. A well-regulated militia means people are actually trained and armed to defend themselves against any enemy, foreign and domestic. There's one part of it. Being necessary to the security of a free state means, yeah, these people that make up this militia is necessary to keep their freedoms. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, they always say, oh, well, that comma right there between arms and shall, that changes everything. No, motherfucker, that's context. You know, something you argue about all the fucking time? Well, there's no context to this. It's just your claim. Show context. You made the claim, give proof. Show context. There's your fucking context. The right of the people to keep and bear arms is the context to shall not be infringed. Which means 100 fucking percent any law against that regulates or restricts guns here in the United States, any kind of firearm, even the laws that we agree with, are 100% unconstitutional and therefore a violation of your Second Amendment right. All gun-free zones. Banning something just because it has a grip stock or a grip handle and not, a shoulder stock. Banning bump stocks. Banning fully automatic. Banning nukes, which is a dumbass idea for people to have. Granted, like I said, laws that we agree with are still unconstitutional and therefore a violation of your Second Amendment rights. Now, Reuters, I love this. I love this. Key facts about Americans and guns. Okay. 4 in 10 US adults say they live in a household with a gun, including 30% who say they personally own one. This was written in 2021. 4 in 10? I think that's wrong. I'm going to go out and no, I'm going to go out there and say I know it's fucking wrong. Because during the riots in the Summer of Love, there were over 2 million more new gun owners. So 4 in 10? No, go fuck yourself. That's a straight up ass lie. These are the people that say they own guns. What about the ones that really actually do own guns? Legally, they're not allowed to. Or the ones that just don't answer your poll altogether. You think it's 4 in 10? No. No, that shit's like closer to like 6, 7 in 10. I mean, I live in the South, ladies and gentlemen. I already assume that everybody around me has guns. Unless they tell me they don't, I assume you have one. I assume you're carrying. Even if it's not out in the open, I assume that. Why? Number one, it keeps me safer. Number two, Second Amendment. Number three, constitutional carry, bitches. You don't even need a permit to put it under your shirt. Okay. 4 in 10 US adults say they live in a household with guns. Now, you're already going to bullshit. Personal protection tops the list of reason why gun owners say they have a firearm. Okay, personal protection? Yeah. Yeah, look what's going on in New York. Look what's going on in San Francisco and LA and Chicago, for God's sakes. There's a reason why they call it Chirac. It's the murder capital of the fucking, at least the country. So you're going to sit there and tell me personal protection is number one reason? I understand. I get you. And I'm all for it. Because you think these criminals who don't have the right to own a gun legally by our laws is going to say, oh, well, because I'm a felon, I can't have a gun here. No. You wonder why the mass shootings in this country happen in gun-free zones? You ever thought about that? Has that ever crossed anybody's mind? Because it's like shooting fish in a fucking barrel if they can't fight back. That's why. Okay. Around half of Americans see gun violence as the biggest problem in the country today. Well, when you take people's right to defend themselves away, yeah, gun violence is going to be a thing. Because if every single person over the certain age actually was carrying, even if you're not forced to, you had the ability to carry, which most people would, given the right to. You're going to sit there and tell me that somebody's going to run up into a store or run up into a bank with a gun and tell me, I'm robbing you. Get down. Get down or I'll kill you. You think 1, 2, 3 people's going to do that? Knowing that everybody over a certain age inside any kind of business or house has a weapon? Fuck no. You ain't going to do that unless you had an army. What's the point in 1, 2, 3 people running up into a business? Let's say Walmart, for example. Walmarts are always busy ass places. You think somebody's going to run up into Walmart brandishing a weapon, threatening to shoot somebody when every single fucking person in that store is packing? Or at least the thought of them packing. They're going to do that? Come on. I know common sense is a goddamn superpower, but think for yourself for a minute here. Attitudes about gun violence differ widely by race, ethnicity, party, and community type. Yeah, let's see. White people, 39% think it's a very big problem. Black people, 82% think it's a very big problem. To understand why, all you have to do is just look at what we call the ghettos, you know, the the Section 8 housing areas and the public housings, things like that. I live ghetto adjacent. Me and my wife are the only white people in this neighborhood. Until we started talking with people and actually trying to help the community out, guns went off at fucking damn near daily. People were firing guns. Yeah. Yeah. Drug deals happened right outside our house on the street. People were threatened with guns. As a matter of fact, one of the people in this community got shot. Um, actually, it was about almost a year ago. He got shot when somebody ran up in his house to take the drugs that he had, and he tried to fight back and got shot. So yeah, I can understand why 82% of the black people in this poll think gun violence is a very big problem. Yes, but the question remains: why is it a problem to you? Now, that's a very sensitive subject, and that's one that everybody will call me racist for talking out against. And this is something we're going to have to do at a later time. Hispanics 58. Oh, MS 13. Anyway, urban 65%. Urban is city dwellers, suburban, those who live outside the city limits, and rural are the people who are in the countryside. Look at that huge disparity between urban and urban and rural. 65 to 35, 30% difference. Wonder why that is. It's almost like when you get the fuck away from people, you don't have that big of a problem. Maybe we're onto something with that. But let's keep going. Here's where it gets funny. Republican or lean Republican, only 18% think it's a very big problem, while Democrat or lean Democrat, 73%. Well, fuck, my entire damn life, I've heard only Democrats say gun violence is a huge problem because we want to take your guns away. Even when I was Democrat, even when I considered myself a Democrat, I still made this argument. Until I had to use a firearm 3 times to protect my life. Never pulled the trigger, but the brandishing was the only thing that worked. Had I not had that, I probably would have died all 3 times. Because the defensive uses of firearms has a huge range. It's in the millions. I think it's like 1.5 to 2.6 million or something like that. Defensive uses estimated. Why? Because just like me, all 3 times that I pull my firearm, nothing happened. So why the fuck should I report it to the police? I didn't have to shoot somebody. I didn't get shot. Not a single bullet left the chamber. So why should the police get involved? And that happens more often than you guys want to believe. Roughly half of Americans, 53%, favor stricter gun laws, a decline since 2019. I wonder why there's a decline since 2019. Could the riots that were encouraged by Democratic leaders and allowed to happen unabated by Democratic leaders have anything to do with that? It's almost like the people felt less secure in these cities where they were saying no guns, while these rioters were burning down places and shooting people. Y'all think that there was a cause with that at all? Like, do you think there was some kind of do you think that had anything to do with it? Because I know full fucking well it did. Especially when over 2 million Democrat voters were new registered gun owners in the end of 2020, beginning of 2021. Yeah, the people that were advocating against guns said, they're not doing shit to protect me. I'm going to go out and get a gun to protect myself. But it's funny. The total says 52%. Lean Republican, 24, say they should be more strict. While Democrats, overwhelmingly, three quarters, 75%, 3 out of 4 think there should be more strict gun laws. Well, I guess in 2019 it was a lot higher than no, that was actually in 2017. It was a lot higher than that. And it went down. It actually in 2019, 86, and in 2020, it dropped down to 81. In 2019, 31% of Republicans said that. And in 2021, 20%. So you can see in 2017, 75, 80, 86%, all the way up to that. And then the riots happened and everything. And even Democrats said, maybe Republicans have a point on that. Let's see, 2024 or in 2017, 24%, 28% in 18, 30%, 31% in 19. I wonder why they left out 2020 in this. You think that would have changed the look of the whole thing if they put 2020 involved in this? Information that is being censored from the public. Americans are divided over whether restricting legal gun ownership would lead to fewer mass shootings. Oh, let's see. If people had the ability to stop a shooter from doing bad things in gun free zones for the vast majority of them, yeah, I think people would think twice about running into a place to shoot people when they know damn well bullets are flying back at them. Let's stop being stupid about this shit, guys. It's a broad partisan agreement on some gun policy proposals, but most are politically diverse. Kind of. Gun ownership is closely linked with views on gun policies. This is true even among gun owners and non gun owners with the same political parties. It stayed roughly around the same throughout. Yeah. Americans in rural areas typically favor more expansive gun access, while Americans in urban areas prefer more restrictive gun policies. Oh, of course. Because living out in the countryside, there ain't nobody around to fuck with me. Because if you're coming up into my property or you're around my property anyway, you're meant to be there. You meant to come that direction. So if I don't know you and you're coming up on my property, we got problems. However, in a bigger city, everybody's living on top of each other. We're all fucking assholes to elbows. So, yeah, more restrictive. How's that going to work for you, though? Because the same people that are pulling the trigger in these urban areas don't give a fuck about the law. So, how does that help you? Yeah, so some of them might get caught with a gun and they might go to jail for it. What about the vast majority of people that don't? In these big ass cities in New York, I guarantee you, every train ride you have, every time you walk down a street, somebody's got a gun on them and you don't know it. I guarantee you, you are not far from somebody illegally carrying a gun, especially in New York City. Guaranteed. So, how does that help you? Let's see. So, yeah, Anything, anything that restricts the right of the people to keep and bear arms is 100% unconstitutional, even the ones we agree on. Gun free zones in schools, I'll still advocate for that. However, it is still unconstitutional. So, yes. Ah, well, okay. After some of the school shootings and everything, I'm going to walk my statement back and say there needs to be at least the people that want to be armed should be armed. The teachers, the faculties, things like that. If they want to be armed, they should be armed. Different conversation for a different time. All right, amendment number 3. Now, this one's fun. This is one that most people don't ever talk about because from the writing of it. No soldier no soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. In other words, anybody in the military, whether it be National Guard, Army, Navy, Marines, whatever, you cannot forcibly be told by the government that they must stay in your house. Y'all remember this shit? The moratorium on evictions during COVID? Hold on. Ah. So, National Guard, active military, the government told people that you must let these soldiers stay in their house without paying rent. Yep. Violation of the Third Amendment. You cannot quarter soldiers without the expressed written permission of the owner. Now, there are multiple stories about homeowners who were renting to people that were not paying their bills, even though they were deemed essential, still didn't pay their rent. And there was nothing they could do about it. However, the owners still had to pay the mortgages on the places that they were renting out. They still had to pay for the upkeep and the maintenance of these houses, but they weren't getting the income to guarantee that they could do that from the people who were working, who actually got funds from the government. If they weren't working, that shit that was supposed to actually help you pay your bills, the increase in unemployment, one was $300 increase a week in unemployment to help you pay your bills. But yet the government told you, no, you can't kick them the fuck out, and they don't even have to pay. Third Amendment violation. The government told you to quarter soldiers, forced you to quarter soldiers. Yeah, I remember that shit. Anything to the contrary of that, we can have it out if you want to. But you're ultimately going to lose. You're ultimately going to lose because that was illegally done, including Biden extending the eviction moratorium. Yes. Biden extended the moratorium on evictions illegally, and he even told you to your face it was illegal, but he's going to do it anyway. So don't play these games with me, guys. Don't play this dumb shit with me. Oh, wait. Okay. Amendment 4, the right of the people to secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. In other words, unless there is legal reason to, nobody can touch you. They can't search you. They can't stop you. They can't detain you. They can't do anything unless there is legal recourse to do so. Guess what, bitches? The 1993 crime bill that Joe Biden himself wrote. Yeah. That overwhelmingly targeted black people. Yeah. Now, it wasn't written that way to do so, but it happened because the black community creates over 50% of all crime. So yeah, I'm sorry. 40% of all crime, over 50% of all violent crime. So yeah, the 1993 crime bill, though it wasn't written to be racist, in practice, it was racist because black people were overwhelmingly targeted because of the stop and frisk law in New York, as they were calling it, and things like that. Systemic racism, you have an argument with that. I'll give you that one. But guess what? Breaks the Fourth Amendment. Not only that, is it safe? In the movie theater business, the question is how much to promise older audiences. Now, I bring this one up because in California, there was a woman during the lockdowns and everything. There was a woman who created an open pavilion, outside pavilion, in her restaurant to continue to have customers, to continue to generate income for not only her business but her lifestyle and everything like that, to continue to pay her own bills. And yet, the state itself seized that property for a movie theater that was close by to do the same shit she was doing. So they took a small business, their right to keep going under the lockdowns, under the COVID restrictions and everything like that, which was, by the way, illegal to do in the first damn place. But because of all that, they stripped her right to be able to keep her business open under their own laws to give that area to a movie theater. And the government said, yeah, it's 100% fine. The government got involved with that. It said, yeah, there's no problem with it. Just, it's whatever. The government told them that. Now, this kind of shit always happens. The Fourth Amendment is broken not only from our government, but all the way down to local police. Let's see. I'll get the hell out of here. Oh, wait, is this it? No. I want to show you all this.
Why you giving me the finger? What? What's your problem? What? Why you giving me the finger?
What?
Huh?
Am I free to go?
Why you giving me the
Am
finger?
I free to go?
No. Come
For
here.
what reason?
Why you giving me the finger?
I'm free to go. Am I free to go?
What's your problem?
Am I free to go?
No.
What, do you have a problem?
No.
You have a problem?
No.
You don't have a problem, then I can leave.
Why you giving me the finger when you're walking? Huh? Come here.
I'm free to go.
No,
What
you're
you
not.
want?
Get over here.
What?
Get over here.
Why?
Because.
Is that a lawful order?
Yeah.
For what reason?
Because you're giving me the finger.
That's legal.
No, it isn't.
Says who?
Says it all.
Pull up the law.
Huh?
Pull up the law.
What's your name?
What's the law?
What's your
What's
name?
the law?
What's your name? How
What's the
old
law?
are you?
Have a good one. You fucking pig.
Whatever.
Fuck you.
What?
You are.
Come here.
I'm afraid of you.
Come here. Get over here. Get over here. Get over here.
I'm not doing anything illegal.
Yeah, you are. You just cursed me off.
That's not a crime.
Yes, it is.
Says who?
Says me.
Says who?
Turn around. Come on.
Bro, that is not a fucking crime.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Why are you cursing?
It's not a crime.
What's your name?
It's not a crime.
What's your name?
Help! Help!
No help.
Help! 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 I'm under arrest right now because I was cursing at him. And he said,
You're being detained because you acted strange.
what? That's not legal.
It is legal. He's allowed to detain you until he performs his
So what am I
investigation.
doing though? What am I doing that made him detain me? What legal right?
I rode by him twice. You shot me the finger. So I turned around and said, "Well, you're
Is that a crime?
problem." Well, then he tells me
That's not a
this is
crime.
causing public disturbance. Then he
That's
tells
not,
me to
no, that's not a crime.
F off, pig.
Yeah, fuck off, pig. That's not a crime. That's not a crime. He's looking at you because he's like, what the fuck do you want me to do? It's not a crime. I know my rights.
Who are you?
I don't have to say any of that.
You do if you're being detained.
What's that?
You do if you're being detained.
For what reason?
What
What legal reason am I being detained for?
Where are you coming from and where are you?
What legal reason am I being detained for? I need to know that. Legally, I need to know that.
Why are you
Shooting me the finger.
Why are you
Is that illegal?
Why are you flipping the bird? Yes, it is. It's causing a public disturbance and a public alarm if you are cursing.
So a single one.
When you are cursing in public, you are causing a public disturbance. You're being a nuisance to the public.
In what way? When he was driving past? That's singular. Well, I'd like to see you guys prove it in court.
It's called causing a public disturbance.
I know the
by
law.
being a nuisance.
I know the law.
All right. So at that point, what he is doing is he's not saying you're being charged with anything. At that
I'm
point,
just
he's
figuring out
detaining
what's
you
wrong with you.
to make sure that there is nothing
Make
wrong.
sure you're okay.
Make sure that you're okay.
What reason does he need to detain me?
He thought maybe he thought you were signaling him down. I'm not sure.
That I was doing
Okay.
what?
Were you
I was.
signaling to him?
No, you knew very well that I wasn't signaling to you, right? I wasn't signaling to you.
You bring attention to yourself.
That's not signaling.
Your action's strange. I'm making sure you're okay.
Dude, that's so funny. Like, you're not here for my safety. You're not trying to protect
How do
me.
you know?
You're walking
You
on
may
the
be-
side of the road and you're cursing and you're flipping the bird.
Once at him. I gave him the finger once. That
know
will
him?
not hold up.
Do you know him?
That will not hold
Why
up
are
in
you
a
giving
court
him
of
the
law.
finger?
That will not hold up in a court of
Why are
law.
you giving
I
him
know
the
my
finger?
rights.
Do you know him?
It's not your business.
Do you know him?
It's not your business. I
It is
plead the
my
fifth.
business.
I plead the fifth then. You guys make nothing out of
So,
something.
by you cursing and using vulgar gestures,
So what's the First Amendment for?
it's causing a public disturbance.
What's
and
the
public
First
alarm.
Amendment for?
Okay. The First Amendment is for your freedom of speech. Okay.
Okay.
What does that have to do with
Was I
using
making a call
gestures?
to action? Was I making a call to action? Was I? Was I like
When you were
threatening
acting-
you in any way?
what are you
Did I
talking
threaten
about?
you?
Do you
You
understand?
know what a call to action is?
Do you understand that you're acting?
Is that a call to action? Am I
you-
calling for an action to be done against you?
Do
No.
you understand that it
bringing
is?
attention to
Listen,
yourself to get
listen,
invested.
listen.
That's illegal.
It's behavior that's out of the ordinary.
I understand how it works.
So
but
therefore, he
legally, it
stopped
would
to
not
talk
hold.
to you. Clearly, if you stopped all the way back there, I'm assuming you guys were back there and you just
We
continued
went
to
back
walk.
a bit further.
You
back.
just continued to walk.
I wasn't running. I told you that I was free to go, and you all of a sudden
Stop, and you ran down here.
Come here.
I'm free to go. No, you're not.
Get over here.
I wasn't running. I was walking.
Once he
So
gives
let's-
an order
let's
for
be
you to
honest here.
stop, you're supposed to stop.
I did stop when he originally said it, but I was asking, is it
And then he
illegal?
told
Is
me
it
to F
lawful?
off, and he took off.
Yeah, because I kept walking because you weren't pursuing at the first. You
All
only
right.
started pursuing because
So
I said
listen.
"fuck you, pig." That's
Listen.
when you got a little upset.
Okay, so
He
listen.
got his panties in
So
the pants.
listen, we're here at this point now. Okay, you've brought the attention to yourself. You
Yep.
caused the public alarm.
Yeah.
So now,
Well,
what
I'd like
you're
to see
doing-
you legally
so
hold
now
that
what
in
we're
court
doing,
because
I'm not charging you with anything, so
Well,
I
I
don't
would-
really need to hold anything in court.
well,
Okay,
I
what
could,
I'm doing is
I
I'm
could always
trying to
bring
figure
this
out
up.
why you're walking on the side of the road, okay,
Mhm.
and why you're continuing to signal to a police officer.
I wasn't signaling.
Okay.
See, now you changed the story.
So-
Now you're changing the story. Was I signaling or which one was it?
So what
'Cause now
were you doing?
Well, I want to know from your perspective.
I
What was
pulled up onto the scene, so you tell me what you were
To
doing.
bring you attention.
I plead the fifth. You fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot, dude.
Okay.
How long have you been a cop? 6?
Longer than you.
Listen,
Longer than you, I'm not a cop, retard.
listen,
Longer than you've been alive.
You're fucking retarded,
Listen.
bro.
listen.
100% correct. Now, I will praise that kid for knowing his rights. And he was eventually let go. Why do I highlight that? Because they illegally detained him. They seized his personal being just because the cop was pissy that child flipped him off. Even the cop knows that your First Amendment allows the freedom of speech. Even the cop knows that shit. So why do I bring that up? That's simple. They illegally seized him to stop him. The cop was trying to arrest him for causing a public disturbance by walking on the side of the road and flipping off a cop and telling him, "Fuck you, pig." The kid was right. Was there a call to action with any of that? Hell no. There's no call to action for that. So him being able to flip off that officer and saying, "Fuck you, pig," is covered under the First Amendment, ladies and gentlemen. Even the other responding officer knew that shit, but they still tried anyway. So not only did the government do this shit to you, all the way down to your local police officers will do that shit to you. Authoritarian response. Breaking the Fourth Amendment to the United States of America. Wrong one. Where is it? There we go. Okay. Fifth Amendment. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in a land or naval forces or in the militia when in actual service time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense twice put in the jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. Now, that covers a lot of things. Basically, you can't incriminate yourself, and nobody can make you do anything that you don't want to do in the court of law unless subpoenaed by a grand jury. I bring this up for this. You remember the Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping plot? Yeah. That turns out to be FBI agents or FBI informants setting up a trap for people that they had coerced into this trap to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer. You know, the same woman that threw young COVID infected patients into nursing homes to infect the older population, the most vulnerable to COVID, threw them in the nursing homes with the old people for the old people to die. Now, there's a video out there of a young dude who literally beat an old man to death in this nursing home. Yeah, that Gretchen Whitmer. Yeah, two being convicted. Where is it? First time federal prosecutors tried to convince a jury that a group of men plotted to kidnap Michigan's Democratic governor. They failed to get a single conviction. But on Tuesday, jurors in a second trial found the two remaining defendants guilty, providing a measure of vindication to federal law enforcement in a case filled with public setbacks. Double fucking jeopardy. Not only were they tried once and they did not get a conviction, they tried them again under the same fucking convictions or under the same accusations and got a conviction. Double jeopardy. And that was at the behest of federal government. Now, it wasn't Joe Biden who said, try these people again. But a grand jury did. federal court in the state of Michigan said, we're going to try to convict these guys again. Double jeopardy. A federal court broke the Fifth Amendment for these two gentlemen who were found not guilty. Well, not found not. Well, yeah. I mean, they were not by the jury, but they were found not guilty. And then tried again for the same crime. Double jeopardy. Okay. Some Capitol riot defendants are being held without bond before their trials. These motherfuckers were held for years without so much as a lawyer to talk to. Under crime or under conditions that are inhumane. Kept them in isolation. Didn't give them any kind of health care. Didn't give them shit. Treated them like shit. And there are some people that testify that they were beat in these prisons. What does that say about that? Where actual service time or nor shall any person be subject to the same offense twice. We covered that. Put in jeopardy of life and limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Without due process. So these people were held without bail, in worse conditions, treated like shit, beat, denied health care, denied due process of law. Because they were denied even lawyers accessing them. There was Marjorie Taylor Greene and some other congressmen and women who wanted to see these defendants. Even congressmen and women were denied access to these people. Because of January 6th and the insurrection. Y'all remember this? Yeah, January 6th was supposed to be an insurrection where people broke out windows and stopped the election process. But somehow that's an insurrection. Yet in May 29th of 2020, BLM and Antifa rioted in DC for days on end. Now, they were saying it was peaceful. Okay, let me ask you something. If you break through the barricades of the White House in an attempt to set the White House on fire to kill a sitting president of the United States because you were told he's racist, setting fire to the guard check because that's all you can get close to, then being pushed back by the people defending the White House, and in retaliation, set fire to the church across the street from the White House, and then having the police gas the peaceful protesters so Trump could take a photo op. Yeah, that's not somehow an insurrection, is it? No, because the people in power were letting it happen. That's not an insurrection. But because you question the process and you want to stop that process for a redress of grievances, the First fucking Amendment, somehow that's an insurrection. So people being able to attack the White House to try to burn it down and kill a sitting president, somehow that's not insurrection. But yet a redress of grievances that wasn't even heard by a Supreme Court and something you feel you've been wronged in as a member of the United States of America, a legal member of the United States of America, somehow that's an insurrection. Make it make fucking sense to me, because God damn it, I'm tired of having this fight with you dumb sons of bitches out there. And I'm not talking to the people that are watching this, because, well, maybe some of you. Because y'all like to start fights. Y'all like to talk shit. You far left nut jobs out there. Yeah, I'm going to use your own goddamn language against you, you sons of bitches. An eye for an eye. You tried to kill a sitting president because you were told he was racist. And somehow that's not insurrection. But yet, stopping a congressional hearing that might have changed the election of the president of the United States of America, had the redress of grievances been heard out, somehow that's insurrection. Make it make fucking sense. No, I'm serious. Make it make sense. Why is it okay for you to try to kill a sitting president because you were told he was racist? You were told all this bullshit that turned out to be certifiably fucking false. You were told all this shit. How was that not insurrection to try and kill a sitting president? But yet, people can't stop an election process because the government violated your First Amendment rights to a redress of grievances. Explain it to me. I'd love to hear the answer to that. I'd love to hear that argument. And I'd love to sit here. We can do it live. I'd love to sit here and pick apart your argument and make you look like the fucking moronic piece of shit you really are. You tried to kill a sitting president, and somehow that's not insurrection. But yet, wanting to hear a redress of grievances, somehow that's insurrection. And we get to treat the people that tried it like shit. Nah, we're not playing that fucking game anymore. We're not playing that shit. At least I'm not. And I know a lot more people that are tired of your goddamn dumb shit. I know a lot more. There's more of us than there are of you. Let's see. Chauvinger participated in the 2020 March on Washington. Is it grounds for appeal? Basically, what this is talking about is at least one of the jurors in the Chauvin trial marched with BLM, was a BLM activist. This juror voted to convict Derek Chauvin of the murder of George Floyd. Wait a minute. What did it say? Nor be deprived without due process, nor shall private property be taken with public use without just compensation. To answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime, unless on presentment of indictment of grand jury, except in cases arising in the land of naval forces or militia, when in actual service in time of public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense be twice. We've already covered that. Jeopardy of life and limb. Nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Without due process of law. What is a jury there for? A jury is there to be an unbiased human being that you're supposed to convince that the defendant committed or did not commit a crime. Now, at least one person in that jury marched with the same people that started the riots of 2020 because they were told lies about George Floyd. At least one. This activist sat on a jury, lied to get onto that jury, because there is a process to be put on the jury. There are questions that they ask, and you lied. You straight fucking lied to be placed on that jury. Seems that dude committed a serious felony and convicted a man of crimes that contradict themselves. First degree murder is the premeditated ending of a human life. It means you planned it out, you executed this, and you killed somebody. Second degree murder is not premeditated. You just saw them somewhere and you decided to take their life at that point. Derek Chauvin convicted of second degree murder. Did he look at George Floyd and say, I'm going to kill this son of a bitch? Was that thought process in his head? Now, we can't say for definitively sure, but if you watch that fucking body camera footage that was over 40 minutes long, you could say absolutely not. Third degree murder. You didn't mean to kill the man. You weren't trying to kill him. You just caused enough bodily injury to him to end his life. You can argue that. But from the toxicology report that says there was enough 4 times the legal limit of fentanyl and other drugs in his system that would have killed him anyway had the officers not walked up to the fucking car in the first place. Was there bodily injury? Only to himself, because the dude was already going through cardiac arrest before they even placed him in the squad car. He was already going through cardiac arrest from the amount of fentanyl and methamphetamine running through his system. Speedballs, as they call it. And that's fact. You can argue this from a place of emotion all you fucking want to. But the fact remains, before he was placed into that car, he was already saying, I can't breathe, acting erratically, not being able to stand on his own 2 damn feet. He was going through cardiac arrest before they even put him in that vehicle. So did Chauvin cause the problem? Did Chauvin cause the bodily injury to end his life? Or was it the overdose? The ingesting of too many drugs? Manslaughter? You have an argument. And I will even say, yeah, that was manslaughter. Manslaughter is you didn't mean to kill him. You didn't try to kill him. You didn't even do enough damage to kill him. But you didn't do anything to save his life. Chauvin didn't. I mean, they called for the ambulance, but did he set him up? Did he try to give him air? Did he try to do anything to help the man to survive? No. No, he didn't. He didn't do shit. He sat there and moved his knee from his shoulder blades to his neck, shoulder blade to neck, shoulder blade to neck. He didn't do anything to help George Floyd. So manslaughter? I 100% agree with you. Second and third degree murder? Absolutely fucking not. But because there were at least one activist, probably more, that were on that jury, the man was convicted of all 3. So, because of that case, he was literally convicted of all 3. Says, it wasn't premeditated, but you saw the man and you want to kill him. You wanted to kill him, but you didn't want to kill him. You just did enough damage to kill him, but you didn't do enough damage to kill him. You just didn't do anything to help him. What the fuck? But yet you had Maxine Waters the day of, while that trial was going on, out there saying, if we don't get less than a first degree murder charge, we take to the streets. A call to action. Even our own fucking government is making a call to action And first-degree murder wasn't even on the charges. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Amendment 6. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process of obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. Hello? January 6th defendants. The federal fucking government, under the guise of being insurrectionist, yet May 29, 2020, we've already hashed that out. Guess what? Did they have assistance of counsel? Because they turned away lawyers. They even turned away sitting congressmen and women from talking to these people. Be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation? Yeah. Maybe they were told. Maybe they were told as they were being arrested. But were they told what they were actually finding out as they were investigating? Shit, no. These motherfuckers were in isolation, getting their asses beat by the fucking guards, not given healthcare. So no, absolutely fucking not. Let's see. Compulsory process to begin for obtaining witnesses in his favor. Have there been witnesses in January 6 defendants? In favor of January 6 defendants? Very little, if at all. No, these motherfuckers are guilty until proven innocent. And they don't have anything in their favor except videotapes. Have witnesses been called? Maybe in a few cases, but not all. So yeah, again, Amendment 6 broken by the United States of the government of the United States of America because they made you look bad. Amendment 7. In suits at common law where the value in controversies shall exceed $20. Back when this was written, $20 was pretty major, but today it's pocket fucking change. The right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law. Guess who broke that? And guess how it was broken? Of course, the United States of America broke that because who did they deplatform for the Sandy Hook trial? And who did they go after multiple times for the same instance? There have been at least 3 trials for him now. Alex Jones ordered to pay nearly $500 million to Sandy Hook families in additional damages. Now, there is a cap on his shit. But in I think it was the first case, the prosecutor literally looked at the jury and said, I want you to take everything from this man so he cannot speak again. Roundabout way. Paraphrasing. Make him pay. Now, was he wrong about it? Fuck yes. Should he have said those things? Absolutely goddamn not. But as many as the false flag events that we have seen, I'm pretty sure he believed it was a false flag event. I'm 100% because he said some crazy shit. He's been right more often than he hasn't, and I've argued with people that I even respect about this. But these people that were the families of the Sandy Hook event, he's supposed to pay all this money to because he said how he felt. He said what he believed. And because the prosecutor was allowed to say what he said in closing arguments, and the activist judge sitting on the bench did not stop the prosecutor from saying, take this man for everything he's got, so he cannot ever speak again. Then in the second trial, ordered to pay almost $1 billion. Wow. Okay. Huh. Seems like Amendment 6 has been violated. And there are a lot more cases of Amendment 6 being violated. Just wanted to throw that out there. Just something very recently to show you that it's being violated. Or, I'm sorry, that was Amendment 7. Amendment 8. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. Alex Jones, yet the fuck again. January 6 defendants, yet the fuck again. Cruel and unusual punishment. To beat these people in prison, deny them health care, deny them access to their lawyers, deny them access to congressmen and women from being heard, from being accessed. Cruel and unusual punishment? I'd say that 100% applies. Excessive fines. Oh, $1 billion in total compulsory damages beyond what, 2-3 different trials now? Excessive fines? Fuck yeah. Now, like I said, there are laws that put a cap on how much can be awarded in these kinds of things. But the fact still remains. Because people were told to feel a certain way. Because people were brainwashed into not wanting to believe the First Amendment, right? Gave Alex Jones the ability to say those things. He's fined damn near $1 billion. Excessive fine? You're goddamn right. By the way, January 6 defendants were held without bail because they were insurrectionists. Yet nothing happened to the people who rioted and tried to kill a sitting fucking president on May 29th, 2020. Amendment 9. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. Now, that's broken every single fucking day. Every time they call you a terrorist, every time they call you a right-wing extremist, every time they call you an insurrectionist, every time they call you a militia violent extremist, every time you stand up to protect your children and they disparage you. Every single time. They're breaking the Ninth Amendment in the United States of America. Every time. People like Don Lemon get on TV and call you a white supremacist just for the color of your skin. Every single time they open their mouths, they're breaking the Ninth Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America. Every single time. Because as it states, the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. So calling you a conspiracy theorist breaks the Ninth Amendment. Calling you a domestic terrorist because you don't agree with the government, breaking the Ninth Amendment. calling you a domestic terrorist for speaking up at these school boards for the indoctrination of your children and the sexualization of your children at these drag shows. Breaking the Ninth Amendment. Hell, even calling you a racist for the color of your skin. Not because of something you said or something you did, just because you're white. They're breaking the Ninth Amendment. Every single person from the government on down breaks the Ninth Amendment. Yeah. You can't argue that shit. You'll try to. You'll try to say some stupid shit, but you can't do it. And of course, Amendment 10. Now, this is my favorite. Not my favorite, but this is a big one. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. Basically, saying if the government of the United States can make no law against it, then it is the right of the people and the right of the states to make those laws themselves. What was this argument over? Oh, yeah, that's right. Roe versus Wade. You know, they want to codify it. They want to make it the law of the land yet again, even though nowhere in the fucking Constitution of the United States says you can kill an unborn child. But they're trying to make it a law constitutionally. Even though it's states' rights, just like gay marriages, just like interracial marriages, which there's not a fucking state in this country that would speak up against gay or interracial marriage any damn more. They're trying to make that argument. Even though it is the rights of the states to make their own laws against it, guess what? Not a single goddamn state would. Not a single fucking one. So you're going to sit there and tell me wait. I want to include this before I do a wrap up. And I go on Rumble only and speak about shit. Give you my real opinions because we can't do that on YouTube. Little baby back bitch motherfuckers would have their feelings hurt. Okay. What was it? It says terminate the Constitution. Trump says he doesn't want to terminate the Constitution. McConnell criticizes Trump's calls to terminate the Constitution. Trump denies he suggested terminating of the Constitution. Trump calls for the termination of the Constitution. Trump calls for the termination of the Constitution, even though the motherfucker didn't say any of that. Yet that wasn't a fucking problem. That wasn't insurrection. That wasn't violent extremists. That wasn't anything when the left was saying, let's burn the fucking Constitution of the United States not too long ago. But because Orange Man says something about it, oh, now it's a problem, right? Even though there was talks on Capitol Hill about getting rid of the Constitution of the United States, our own government talking about getting rid of the Constitution of the United States. That wasn't a problem until that fat son of a bitch spoke up and said something. Now it's a problem. Now you don't want to get rid of it because Orange Man bad. So whatever he says, we must do the opposite of, no matter how contradictory it is to our own beliefs that we just espoused earlier this year. Wow. Wow. And that's just the first 10 of what, 27? Of the United States of America? The ones that The Bill of Rights, the ones that cannot be stepped on or violated in any way, have all been violated within the past couple, 2-3 years. Every single one of them, the government has violated. Not just the government, all the way down to your elected city officials, your school boards, and everything like that. Every institution has violated the Constitution of the United States just by the Bill of Rights alone. Yeah. Our own government, which was not too long ago talking about getting rid of the Constitution of the United States. Davos 2022, earlier this year, there was a meeting of all world governments to suspend the rights of countries during the next pandemic. Take away your rights because people stood up against the lockdowns. People were against the lockdowns. They were against the forced vaccines and everything. So all the world leaders gathered together to try to give away your rights. I urge you to look into that one as well, because that's too long of a situation to do in just this stream, because I'll be up here for another 2 hours saying that shit. Now, mind you, this has just been in the past couple of years. Every sitting president has violated at least the Bill of Rights. Every sitting president. Trump, Obama, Bush, Clinton. And that's just in my lifetime. The president before Bush, he did the same thing. But I don't remember that. Well, I do remember hearing about it. I just wasn't fully conscious enough to remember that kind of shit. Every sitting president in modern history has violated the Constitution of the United States in some way, shape, or form. Just the Bill of Rights itself. Not to mention the other 17. Yeah. It's time we change something. It's time we fix this shit. It's time we make the Constitution the law of the land once again. Now I'm going to go ahead and break away from YouTube and Twitch because fuck you, communist bastard pieces of shit. All you want to do is just break my amendment rights. All you want to do is just label me whatever the fuck you want to label me. Y'all go fuck yourselves. We're going to Rumble. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, join us on Rumble because we're about to really say what I think.